in her final schoolwork mode right now, and Michael's going to take those. So, at 7:10, I'll call to order the Weare Conservation Commission meeting. It is June 12th, 2019. To my right, I've got Bill. To my left, Steve, and Lori, and Mike.
Magic Mike.
Now, we have one guest in the audience, Bethany Fulton, and we did not have a May meeting. So our last regular meeting was in April. We had a special meeting a couple weeks ago. That was a one-item meeting. And we have a couple letters, nothing of much note. We have some plans that we did not get to at last meeting. I'm not sure the status of those. And we have whatever other business members of the commission would like to bring up. There's a number of, there are a number of items that are kicking around that we haven't dealt with. Anybody have a preference on?
The guest first?
Typically we do, unless we have other items of a burning nature. We will call up our guest, Bethany Fulton, up to the podium with a request of the commission.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And this being my daughter, I will recuse myself from the proceedings for this item.
Am I good now? Go ahead. Okay. So, hello, I'm Bethany Fulton. I'm here tonight requesting scholarship for Bailey Conservation Camp's Junior Conservation Officer Week. I have requested scholarship from the Weare Conservation Commission for the past 2 years, I believe, and it has been given to me. This would be my fourth year attending the program. It's a really great program. As you can see, the paper I've handed out to you kind of gives a brief overview of it. The conservation officers, basically, they come in to the camp. The camp's in northern New Hampshire, Berlin. They come in, they kind of go over all sorts of different aspects of what a conservation officer's daily routine might be, or in some of the kind of unexpected things that they could run into. We go over target practice, that's one of my favorites. We do night surveillance, canines, that's also my absolute favorite. We kind of have a night surveillance, I don't know quite what you call it, but like a skit almost is put on where the counselors are poachers and we're going after them and that kind of thing, so it's kind of like a training scenario. We do PT every morning there, definitely not one of my favorite parts, but I'm working on it, in which they try to have us do the PT test that would be required to get accepted to be a conservation officer. So 1.5 mile run, sit-ups, push-ups, I think that's all for it. But then we also do calisthenics and that kind of thing after we kind of go through their test. So pretty much that's what I have to say about the program. I think it's really great. It's really great people that have been teaching it. It's nice. I've done some volunteering at like the Wild New Hampshire Day, Pike and Cars, and I got to walk around and I saw some of the conservation officers I knew, and they said, "Oh, hi, Bethany, nice to see you." So it's really nice to kind of make those friendships with people in fields like this.
What year in school are you?
I'm finishing my junior year,
In college?
high school.
No, going to college.
I hope to, yes. Whatever I do, I'm gonna take a gap year. Where I'm gonna hopefully take some class at NHTI, live at home, get those basic stuff out of the way, and work so I can actually pay for college, and then kind of give myself some time to figure out exactly what I want to do, so I don't make any mistakes with it.
Good thought process.
Thank you.
Okay, so anybody want to make a motion to,
What fund does it come out of, Steve?
for this, you could use conservation.
And I think, if I'm correct, we did $250 in years past, or
I believe it was $250. I don't recall for certain.
and what's the cost for the week?
$315.
$315.
Yep.
Make a motion to do a $300 scholarship. Funds coming from the conservation fund to help fund this for a third year from us.
I second it.
Okay, any further discussion? Personally think it's a great thing, so thanks for coming in. I'm glad you're doing well at it. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, ayes have it.
Young
Unanimous.
lady, you have a scholarship.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming in and
Thank you.
talking to us.
Thank you.
Good night.
I didn't know they had programs for that. I wonder.
I didn't either. I would have done that.
Yeah.
Although I don't think Chicago would have been big on it, you know.
All right, let me, as we are sorting ourselves out here, just run through a little bit of the mail that we've received. May 29th, we have a letter from Glenn Dubois. And I'll just read it. It's a quick one. Glenn has trapped with our approval several years on the Wood Family Forest, and he had trapped that land before it was town land also, at the mercy of the Wood family. It says, Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to start by thanking the Conservation Commission, Board of Selectmen, and the citizens of Weare for allowing me the opportunity to trap your property identified on the tax maps as 411-160, formerly owned by Mrs. Jean Woods. As we agreed, I am following up with a report on the fur take from the area during the 2018-2019 season. I did trap some of the conservation land and adjacent land in December for fisher with no success. I returned in the spring to thin some beaver on adjacent land on Melvin Valley Road, removing several. Thank you again for sharing your property. I will submit a similar request for the 2019-2020 season. Sincerely, Glenn Dubois, 32 Everett Dam Road, Dunbarton. So, always good to have follow-up, as folks have promised to do. And maintaining a little bit of attachment with the land of a different sort, I don't think is at all a bad thing. So. We also have some DES correspondence from late May. Let's see. We have a confirmation of complete forestry notification from the Land Resources Management Wetlands Bureau, Jack Dearborn Trust, Gould Road. DES Wetlands Bureau received forestry notification and reviewed in accordance with the laws. Notification sufficient to start work. And the standard conditions are you're not working in a prime wetland, buffer, or in a bog, marsh, or undisturbed tidal zone, cut timber for forest management only, and it's not part of a development program. following best management practices for erosion and timber harvesting operations, revised in 2016. You avoid wetlands and stream crossings where possible. You minimize impact. And you post this notification.
Is that the one on Gould Road?
148 Gould Road is a listing. I do not know whether that's an address or,
Yeah, they're
The-
going
It
in off
is.
of Gould Road.
okay.
Yeah.
And Jack's keeping a very close eye on that.
Yeah. There's also dated May 29th, a wetlands and non-site specific permit for Amanda and Dennis Chase of Manchester for tax map 101, lot 31 on Horse Lake. Based on review, the permit was approved for removing existing piles and an existing pier along the shore, installing a 6-foot by 30-foot seasonal pier with 20-foot abutter setback, repairing existing waterfront retaining wall and stairs in kind, impact of 120 square feet of bank along 15 linear feet of shoreline to construct a 15 by 8-foot rectangular shaped perched beach on an average of 77 linear feet of frontage along Lake Horace in Weare. Curious whether this might have been the one that sort of backed into us but wasn't presented as an expedited. It has that sound to it. So that is permitted until May 29th, 2024. Reaching back to April, we have a complete forestry notification for Chris Bolton. Location 101-225 River Road, tax map 409 lot 4. And the forestry notification is approval with the standard conditions. We also have a New Hampshire Timberland Owners Association invoice for 2 years membership. That was paid by MTL in April, and we'll need to pay them for doing that renewal for us. That's $60, $30 a year.
Do we have to make any motions on that, or can we just do it?
No, that's done.
Okay,
And when it comes time to pay the invoices, we don't have to motion for those because the
we've already.
policy
agreed
is
to the work.
we approve them on the front end, yeah.
Okay,
And we note at payment that we've already approved per minutes or per the warrant article or
Okay.
what have you for funding source. The last batch of things I have from the mailbox are 1, 2, 3, 4 plans. They were all ready to go for the May meeting, and I don't know what their status is. We can take a look at those, or we can try to sort them out, or we can entertain some other business if we like. And I will take a look at them if you have something to run with, Steve, I'll take a look and see whether there's, the sort of thing that we want to spend some time on.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a few things we gotta crank through.
Yeah, why don't you run with it now?
So we got, the proposals back on, Collins Ledge.
Yeah.
So we've got, Jeremy had contacted 5 different survey companies. Mary also posted it, and we ended up with 2 proposals. One was Don Mellon of Hillsborough. That's a set price of $21,800. Meridian came in at 22, so just a hair higher. And it seemed like Mellon was a little bit more of a kind of firm. That's a zip file. Why is that a zip file? There we go. Let's see. Get that.
These are the same 2 proposals that Jeremy was speaking of when he was here.
Trying to think. Did he go over them when he was here? Did he have
Yeah,
the
he had
proposal?
one that he kind of was,
Yeah,
was
Leaning
more
towards.
clear cut.
yeah, Mellon was the one. Yeah, so Meridian, I mean, we've dealt with Meridian a lot, so I don't know if I have the same concerns he does about Meridian. I really don't. But the, Meridian was just a hair higher. He's saying, Jeremy's recommending not to, the second task 2 was the, let's see, 4,500 was blazing. So Meridian had 19,500 for the actual survey. They've got the anticipated not to exceed labor costs for the task, which was, location of the surveys, and it was 19,500. However, our work will be limited to the hourly allowances. We estimate it will not include additional work or addresses unknown, issues, conditions should they arise. So they got a little disclaimer in there. And then recording the easement plan was $2,500. So that's where the Meridian total was coming from. And then the Don Mellon surveying from Hillsborough. Let's zoom in on that. So he's got, so we'd included, because we had modified those proposals to include, remember we discussed having a survey plat that could be filed at the registry of deeds, because somehow that got omitted. So for everything we were looking for, he's got, so the phase 1, that includes butter research and notification, boundary survey, calculations and plotting, paint easement lines, stake corners, draft plan for record, monumentation, prints, Mylars, plan recording fees, $21,875. Blazing is 3,200. That'd be phase 2, which we don't really need to exercise that. So we would be $21,875 to do this. Should we go with them? So they were a little bit less and a little more firm. So I don't know if you guys want to.
Steve, can I ask a question? Is this the second quote? So we talked about one, and then we wanted,
Yes, it is.
Additions.
It's the update, because
Okay, this
we
is
had
the
some things
updated.
we
Yep.
felt were missing, like survey plat being recorded.
Yep.
It's kind of useless if we don't get it in the registry of deeds.
And the blazing is not going to happen, or is going to happen?
Oh, it's up to you guys. Jeremy recommended not to. I think his thoughts were they could do it for less.
Oh, but we would want it blazed
I
from
would,
somebody, right?
And
but
remind me whether we needed
Landowner permission to
Landowner
blaze,
permission
I
to
believe we
blaze.
do to blaze.
Yeah.
So I think that's what Laura said, because the easement was not specific to blazing,
Right.
which is something we need to get in writing. So this guy wants 3,200 to blaze, and let me see what Jeremy said about blazing here. Let me forward this to you guys.
Meridian,
Um,
Meridian estimated line blazing and painting at 4,500.
So he's got, I don't know why Jeremy's saying I think if you allocate 30,000 towards this, we'd be safe. Not acting on secondary blazing, this cost range of 3.2 to 4.5, I can perform this much lower cost and higher quality. That's what he's saying there. So I mean, personally, I would just authorize the, the contract to that amount exactly. And then, because any oversight that Meadowson would provide would just be on the hourly, so I don't know what he's talking about, 30,000 there. I can't really read into that.
So what do you recommend?
Well, I recommend we not get ourselves into this foolishness in the future. It's unbelievable.
It's
Can
this is painful.
I ask a question, just so I understand what we're doing and what our responsibilities are and kind of what the whole mess is?
So, the town, and I've got a whole list of them, this is just the tip of the iceberg, has, shut this thing off or something there, has, accepted a variety of different easements. This one's way before our time. I don't know how this didn't come up before, because other people have monitored this thing, so I'm baffled. And, essentially, if you own an easement, you've got a duty to enforce the easement, which we should never be easement holders. We should hold executory interest. So my thought is, you don't know what the heck you own.
So we have an
Can't look at it.
easement on the open land, I assume,
Yeah.
and what is the executory?
No, we don't have we have the actual easement. So executory is a good case where, say like PLC has the easement and then we have an executory interest. And that means like a PLC flops, we could,
End up with it.
yeah, or anybody else. I mean,
Yeah.
we would have the
Yeah.
ability to enforce the easement. So in this case, I'm not sure if someone has an executive, I think, this one of the, Forest Society has.
That's
the-
why we're here.
Yeah, threatening us, yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
All right, yeah, so
That's-
Forest Society has the executory interest in this particular easement, and they've been hounding us to monitor it. So we sent Jeremy out there, the company, and they said, there's no monuments. So, this is the first time we're kind of hearing this. And to fix this problem, get a surveyor in there and have a registered plat of the easement, it's gonna cost us $21,000. So it really isn't very cool for something that we don't really own, except for we're supposed to be protecting it.
You know,
It's never gonna get any cheaper to fix this.
Yep.
Unfortunately.
And the Forest Society, and I'm really asking this because I keep hearing that they're pushing, prodding. They are kind of like second in line
Mhm.
in the event the town of Weare went out of business every day.
Yeah, but we're not gonna go out of
Right.
business.
And they're just trying to get us to do our due diligence.
they're doing their job.
Well,
They're doing
everybody,
what they're supposed to do.
yeah, I mean,
Yep.
everybody failed the due
Yep.
diligence part of it.
Yep.
That would be the,
Right.
putting the monument. I mean,
Yep.
we're failing that currently in multiple locations as we sit here. But anyhow, yeah, they're hounding us to monitor. Now, the other part of that is they can kind of pound sand as far as their once a year thing. There's nothing that says we have to do that, so that's a whole different story. But if we completely ignore it and they consider abandoned easement, they can come at us for damages or try, so there's legal fees and all that stuff. But we don't really want to get into that. So this is a good thing to do to fix a wrong, but my caution is, we need to kill the ability of the planning board to approve any open space.
I think you have,
Well, we keep telling them that. It's not dead yet, it's there.
oh yeah, I thought that
I don't think
before
Greg
my
killed it.
time, you guys have a thing now with the,
No, I don't think they killed it. I haven't seen it on, it's gonna have to be on the town ballot. The preference is that an open space development, the open space makes some sense as far as the shape of it and what you're conserving. So much so that someone like PLC would be willing to take it. Because there's a whole list of properties that we're not monitoring, nor are we ever gonna monitor unless we hire, permanent staff. Or half-time or something like that. It's just mind-boggling.
so once this is done, and, it would seem that it would make an awful lot of sense to blaze it,
Gotta get permission, yeah.
to get permission, and
I think we can sign it if we can't, if they don't agree with blazing, we'll put those little plastic signs up.
signs
Till we
up.
just,
Yep.
yeah, we could do that, I
Yep.
would think.
And then, can it be monitored by a volunteer?
Well, that's what we're doing.
In
That's
the-
us.
Yes, but, in the future, if it's, if Jeremy does the blazing, if
Yeah.
we do get it blazed, and we were to spend an afternoon with him and know what it is we would be looking for
Oh, you
on a
won't have
yearly
to.
basis or bi-yearly, hour.
If that's all done and it's located, you can literally go out there and just follow the paint marks around. It's easy.
Right.
That's the whole idea.
Yep.
We've done that with all our
Yep.
town forest properties.
Yep.
It's pretty hard not to miss where the town forest boundaries are now. They're all blazed up. We went, that was a real high priority for us to do that. So, yeah, that'll fix this one.
Mm-hmm.
We just don't want to add to our collection.
Well, I don't think we should.
No, I agree with you.
Because, Duck Pond's gonna be a mess, and then, we still haven't really,
The apple orchard group is still a problem.
well, we don't know, yeah, I don't think we haven't heard that they've, gone and finished off the, monumentation, and then also, I don't think we ever finished, did we ever fix the other one there?
Down,
Yeah, probably not.
I don't think any action's been taken.
Because you gotta bring them to court. That's the whole problem, so the people that have their stuff slopped.
Eleanor Way or
Yeah,
something like that.
that's a nightmare.
But isn't that where we asked the town to kind of give us some help, since technically speaking,
Surely you just.
they claim that they want to play ball, we're all on the team, and they keep extolling those virtues.
We don't have anybody with the professional capabilities to really have an airtight case. So it's all civil, more than likely.
Mhm.
So you do what we did, you send a surveyor out there, you have them locate the encroachment, and then you would have to initiate a civil suit. So, the first step is like we did, hey, please move your stuff.
Right.
Now, whether that's happened or not, but once you get past that please move your stuff step, then it's spend money.
So who goes and makes sure that they've moved their stuff? Whose job is that?
Ours,
Not code enforcement.
no. We're the land stewards. So that's the problem. We don't have the time or the staff to go deal with that effectively.
Steve, which of the two plans are you more comfortable with?
The melon one is, objectively speaking, is less expensive and a little bit tighter. I'm comfortable with Meridian because of a long track record with them, but that's not a fair way to evaluate a proposal, honestly. All things being equal, being responsive to the, to the actual request for proposal, I think you just go with Mellon in that case.
Would you, how about if, fund does this?
Yeah, it'd have to be the conservation fund.
Conservation.
It's not town forest, so it does not apply. As the last report I could find was back in December. Looked like a conservation fund balance was close to 180. This is a big chunk out of our funds that we have some latitude with.
Well, I would make a motion to take the Mellon proposal from conservation funds and hire them to do the surveying and follow up with the landowners to try to get permission to blaze and look at a proposal from Jeremy to get it blazed, or at a minimum get it posted with our conservation signs.
Yeah, that sounds good. What I would recommend is that, Bill, we just simplify the motion, because that's all stuff we can tackle later on.
Yep.
And just, what I would suggest is to modify your motion just to say that we accept the
Mellon proposal.
Mellon proposal for the dollar amount, which is, we would only be going with
21,875.
so so Andy would, go with the proposal of 21,875, which is phase one, and recommend that Andy sign the contract, and that we pay for this from the conservation fund.
I'll second that.
So how does that
Is
work?
that,
Yep.
is that in,
That's
that's
perfect.
squaring?
Yep.
All right, so that's Bill's motion. That's Lori's second. And in discussion, we are, we're, by this, we're committing ourselves to phase one. Further contact and landowner approval would be needed for phase two, and probably, at this point, we're not thinking that phase two would necessarily be done by the surveyor.
Right, don't even worry about phase two right now.
Yeah.
Let's get phase one
Yeah.
done, see what we got for issues.
All right, Mike, as a minute taker, what do you have with
I have
The
Bill.
motion.
Bill makes the motion to accept the Mellon proposal from. Bill motions to accept the Mellon proposal with funds coming from the conservation fund for $21,875 to complete phase one of proposal. It is recommended Andy signs the contract with Mellon.
Sounds good.
any further comment on that?
I think I would just pass this along to Naomi that it went out for public comment, that Jeremy contacted 5. We heard back from 2, and, that we think we're compliant with the town purchasing policy. Maybe before you mail it out. Just because it's such a high dollar amount.
We have to get at least 3 bids, and he's certainly done that.
Well, he got 2
2.
bids, but he talked to 5,
Mhm.
and we also posted it, so that's all it was responded.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That covers it.
Yeah.
So we have everything before us that's needed to allow me to sign it and send it back to Jeremy for him to work through the next step, or is it something we sign and we, Jeremy's still working for us, or is he not on this,
Yeah,
in an oversight role?
yeah, they're just
Man.
on the hourly though.
Right.
So the contract is between the town and Mellon, as
Yeah.
I understand it. We are gonna have to get, Beth to send them I think there's probably a deposit, I should see that in there.
Your signature below gives Donald R. Mellon surveyor authorization to proceed with the scope of work described here and circled below at the price mutually agreed upon under these terms and conditions. No work shall begin prior to receipt of a signed proposal and a deposit for the amount of $5,000.
Okay, yeah.
Work in progress will be billed every 30 days and will be payable upon receipt. Finance charge of 1.5% per month will be charged on all invoices 30 days and older.
Yes, the only thing I'm seeing here is that Jeremy's got the proposal going through Meadowson.
Well, we want Jeremy, and mind you, this is all in discussion on the motion. We want Jeremy to be our day-to-day contact person for making this happen in a fashion that's in accordance with our understanding.
Yes, because I don't
As
think
opposed
any
to
of us
having
are
one
in
of
that
us be the
position.
project manager.
Correct.
No, he's gonna manage it. What I'm saying is the contract is with the town,
It
not
should be
with,
with the town, not
yeah,
with.
not with Meadowson.
Well, where is it stipulate?
Meadowson's the the contact. It doesn't say who, so, just tell him. If he's,
Well, okay.
Does that make Medelson, the bill would go to Medelson and then we would pay them? Is that what that's basically laid out right now?
Well, I mean, so Jeremy was the contact. That's what's not like totally clear how he. I mean, it was the town. I mean, we put the notice out through the town. It's just the way
Right.
it's. I would think the town would pay this directly.
If we're signing it, then yes, the town would pay it directly.
Well, let's pass it the way we discussed it, with the town paying it directly, and if there's a problem, it would have to just hold off till next time we get together.
Or we could vote now to give the authorization to Andy to be able to sign it if it needs to be changed for something else.
Well, I think the problem is gonna be if Meadowson decides to like tack on some management fees on top of that on $22,000, it's gonna, instead of doing that on the hourly, so I was hoping he's doing.
I don't know how Andy could sign it as the responsible party if it's,
Couldn't.
it's the name of Jeremy Turner Meadows End at the top of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Mellon's gonna care if you cross that out and put, town aware,
Town aware.
send the,
Mhm.
that's all I would do.
I would think it would just be cleaner if the town aware.
Yeah, I would cross that out and just put, send bills to the town of Weare, Beth Roush, and put your email on there to
And
make sure.
Jeremy's just doing his hourly work,
Yeah,
staying on top of it.
yeah. Yeah, so that's what I would stick with.
You good with that, Andy?
I just wonder whether we need to run anything into the motion to that effect, or whether it's, just,
It's kind of a housekeeping.
yeah, a housekeeping item. Okay. I'm okay with that. Any further comments?
No, we've buried this horse.
All right, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Abstained? No one. So we've got 4 in favor and 1 opposed.
Okay, then we got, It's getting a little confusing on the billing because it's been so long since we had a meeting, but let me run down through. We don't have any paper bills at all. So we signed some paper bills last time and stuck them in the box. Figured we'd have these.
Yes, we did. And
Cause that's like, I can't really, do you have some there, you think?
well, I've got notes from,
We had one that was messed up in the minutes, so we asked them to go back and fix that.
no, the only one I have in the notes from last month was invoice 3-1054.
So the invoice needed to be revised. That one, they went over, all right, and there should be a separate invoice. That's the one they went over the, dollar amount because they tacked on a fee. So, all right, so we got. I think that was the one for the signs.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, so now there's a bunch of stuff. All right, so we've got 1054, the one that was fixed, is $552.50. That's still screwed up. Could get town forest sign out of the hourly FSA. Woods timber sale bid. So I wonder if this is the older one. I think Collins Ledge mixed in there. Let me go back and see if there's another one. Actually, when was that? So the meeting was 4:10. All right, so it's after 4:10. So here's. So she labeled this one for 3-1014. This is forestry. I think what I'm going to do here is if we approve them, I'm just going to fire them off and CC everybody. All right, so I think you got oh shoot, so did we already pay this or not? These are the broken out ones, but they got the older dates, so maybe that's what's going on. I can't really tell what we did. This is the one for Woods, Town Forest, the Small Work Begonia, Research, the field meeting with Matt Tarr, and Research Town Forest, signage, and finalize the layout with Voss. That was. So the total there, that's all just hourly, is $520. So that's after the meeting, so that one must not be paid. So we'll okay, here it is. Yeah, this is Jeremy asked me to break out invoice 3-1014. Is that the same one you got there in the notes? That was 3054. Oh, wait, no, invoice 3014. Invoice needs to be revised to fill this request. Okay, yep, that's the other one. So that's correct. So 520, that's out of Town Forest. So if you guys are all set, just email Beth to pay that one. Get that in the notes. Let's see, Beth. CC you guys. Sherry.
So Steve, you're looking at invoices received after April 10, right?
Yeah, because they fixed some stuff.
Is that 520 on the button there?
Yeah.
3-1014 for $520.
All right, so that's
Town forest account
town forest account.
for warrant.
Yeah, so I'm just, so emailing Beth, CCing everybody and ask her to pay that. So it's 3-1014, and they've got FORES, just to designate that's forest. You'll have all this, Mike, so I'm gonna send it right now.
Then there's 3-1014B.
Yeah, and that's
which is a separate
conservation.
portion, yeah.
That's conservation.
$950. Conservation fund.
Let's open that one up. That should be the signs themselves that we authorized. Let's see, I think. Yeah, those are the signs, $950, so that got us back under that town purchasing policy. So that's gonna be 3-1014B-CF, that's the name of the invoice. So we'll go ahead and forward that for payment.
And that's per our,
Vote on from the conservation fund. We'd authorize those signs.
right, per our minutes.
Yeah. Do we know which minutes that was?
I don't know right off.
Alright, so there's that one. Now, the next one is gonna be $3-1014C-CF, that's for $184. That's also conservation fund. And that is for administration and handling of the signs. That's 184. Everybody all set with that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that one we didn't specifically vote out of conservation fund. I kinda got surprised by that, cause he didn't bill us on the hourly either. Should we be telling him just to take, instead of calling that administrative fund, to be billing hourly for that, or you wanna just authorize $184 out of conservation, just to clarify it? I'm really skittish now. Alright, I'll make a motion to authorize $184 for an unanticipated expense related to the signs from the conservation fund.
I'll second that. Why are you skittish?
'Cause of the accident with that little, with the timber sale contract.
So does everybody understand what we're doing on this one?
I do.
We're probably redundant, but we might not be.
Yep,
So
that's fine.
we're in meeting, so
Covers
let's
it.
cover it. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
And Steve, I did find for that $950 one for signs. We approved that December 12th, 2018.
Okay, she asked for it then.
We approved up to $9.99. And 99 cents.
Okay, next. Oh, same one. Yeah, it's the same one. I don't know why it's doubled. That one.
It looks like, what, 4-100?
Invoice 4-100, 7625 for the 2-year NHTOA membership is attached. So we just talked about that one. Do we need a motion or anything, or? From Forrest?
I do recall requesting that. I don't know whether it made it into the minutes.
You know, just do it now, just to
Yep.
cover it. Make a motion on a town forest account to pay $76.25 for 2-year membership to New Hampshire Timberland Owners Association through Meadowson Timberlands.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Alright. See what else we got here.
Now, where'd payment come from on that one?
Town forest. Alright, now we got one for $650. That is. $430/2019. This will be. So half hour for safety communication with the recreation department. Timbersill bid was 1 hour, $65. Conservation Commission quarterly report prep was an hour and a half, $97.50. Conservation area public bid shown. Looks like that was 3 hours, $195. Quarterly meeting was 3 hours, $195. And the intent to cut and timber tax issue with Wendy Rice was an hour for $65, so that's $650. Yeah, just motion to pay this invoice for $650 out of town forest account.
Do we normally handle recreational department things?
No, what he did, it's nothing to do with the rec department. We share the access with Bolton Field is the access to the wood property. So
Oh,
Jeremy
okay.
called them about the log trucks going in and out of there, see what
Okay.
they had going on. You know, just to deconflict from a safety perspective.
Okay, so we're not doing maintenance on ball fields, we're,
Oh, nothing to do with
Okay,
maintenance, just
all right.
log trucks going in and out of there. That's all. Yeah, it was only a half hour, I just called them and talked to them.
Steve, you said that was out of town forest?
Yeah, it's out of town forest.
Do you have an invoice number on that one?
Yeah, it's FOREST, capital F, APR.
Okay.
And you'll have this to refer back to. So, yeah, motion to pay the $650 out of town forest.
I'll second it. Oh, do you need a
Yeah,
motion, or you making a motion?
I'm making a motion, so you second it.
Yep.
Any further discussion on that one? Being none, all in favor say aye.
I,
Aye. So that's all associated with the Wood Family Forest Harvest?
Yeah. Okay, that's all good. Ah, wow.
Got another one.
Yeah, we're really backed up on these. $130. This one says Cons Fund April. That's the name of it. Let's see if that's. Yep, that's the name of the invoice. Cons Fund April. And that is Collins Ledge Research and Register Review, $65. Collins Ledge RFP Revision and Surveyor Contact, $65. So I'll make a motion to pay that out of the Conservation Fund.
second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Okay.
busy day in the air.
Guess so.
It wasn't Concord too.
Hmm?
It wasn't Concord too.
I'll keep jumping back and forth on conventions. We got invoice 5-112, cons, C-O-N, or Concom, C-O-N, capital C-O-N.
So you can, oh, there's one, no, is that, oh yeah, there's another one. Okay, so yeah, 5-112, com,
CON, CON.
C-O-N, yeah, let's see what that one is.
More Collins Ledge. Half hour.
Yeah, so she didn't specifically say Conservation Fund, but I think we get the gist. So, yeah, motion to pay $32.50 out of the Conservation Fund for invoice 5-112 Concom.
We have a second on that?
Conservation.
Second it?
Is everybody clear on that one?
Mhm.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Not sure about that?
You said aye, correct, Michael?
I did.
Thank you. All in favor?
We're really getting through all these. I'm sure they're like wondering where we've been lately. Okay, then we got one for $65. That's 5-113 for fun. That's kind of cool. That's FORFUN. And that.
Replace pin and lock on gate, Poor Farm, 5/21/19. Lock
Yes.
$40, pin $25. Forest fund per hourly FSA.
Looks good. So motion to pay $65 out of the town forest account.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye.
I think that's
All in
all.
favor.
We're running out of money yet?
No, we're going to little bits and pieces.
And town forest, a little piddly maintenance stuff, and I mean, even the money we just spent on a town forest was revenue generating, so it's not really a
Mm-hmm.
big deal. It's a conservation account that's more kinda, I mean, it's good that there's not a lot coming in, because that means there's not a lot of stuff coming out of current use.
Right. All right, so we just received this latest invoice from Lisa today. And it was dated May 31st.
What's it for?
The one we just approved.
Oh.
So there's room on MTL's side to tighten things up also. They've been very gracious and we always pay them eventually, but,
Yeah, it did just come in, huh?
we're not necessarily getting them hot off the press either.
That's all right.
And I'm guessing, yeah, the dates, invoicing dates are gonna be the end of the month.
Okay, so that's that. Yeah, we definitely don't have that timber contract, huh? Gee. Oh well. I think Hardwood want to get going too, but without any details.
Was
on-
that something that we might have received a while back, not just recently?
Could have. Be from DL Hardwick.
Is that potentially something that
Let's see if there's
the
another.
Board of Selectmen was going to be asked to sign?
No, they were, they signed, the, forestry notification.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of a nightmare. I thought Jeremy was gonna have his phone on too. Hey, the other thing that came, just wanna remind you guys that there's that, next Wednesday, he's planning on doing that Small World Gonya walk. And then we have not taken a policy. Courtney had emailed, Jeremy that she was the minute taker, and, you know, I heard him talking about those. Her boss at another job is a native orchid enthusiast. Been lookout on the plant for the plant species 14 years, and was asking him for the location. We don't really have a policy on that, but generally that usually doesn't get given out.
Run it by me again.
What is she want?
So Courtney said whoever boss is on a regular job was into, orchids. So, I mean, it's a, endangered species, so generally, like, if you, say like natural heritage, they won't ever give out a specific
No, 'cause you're
location.
protecting them.
Right. So I told Jeremy, not to do anything until we talked about it at a meeting. I mean, my preference is not to give that out unless there's like, if there's some academic person or something that's doing research, fine. If someone wants to come in here and tell us why they need to know,
Right.
that's what I would do.
Yep.
I would just not give it out.
Yep.
No, I
Guys all
agree.
give it out.
We're
I mean, I don't think we need a
protecting
formal
things.
policy, but just, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, just come with a reason, a
Yeah.
legitimate reason.
Presentation.
Right.
Not just
Yeah.
that you wanna go look at it,
Yeah.
because you like orchids.
Yeah, right, exactly, so,
No, I think that's a good
okay.
practice.
So I guess we don't have that harvest thing, we can't do anything with it, and it's just the way it goes. I don't know enough about it off the top of my head to even make a motion either. I know it went out to bid, I don't know what the particulars were.
What's the timeline on the events there?
I think they wanna get going.
Yeah, but if you haven't seen the contract, you can't really authorize it, can you, or can you?
I'm not gonna.
Yeah, no, I don't think you should. Don't want your feet in quicksand, do you?
We hadn't. Gears are slipping here. We're talking about the harvest at the Wood Family Forest, right?
No.
No. What are we talking about?
The Felch.
So we acted to square away everything with the Woods project
All set.
last
Selectmen-
month, or a couple weeks back, right?
Selectmen sign. So
Was
the
that,
lid-
was that one also Hardwick?
no, so, yeah, so the selectmen signed,
Because that might be confusing too. I might have seen the one for that, but not the one for Felch.
no, all right, so in the whole debacle that ensued after I signed the contract when I shouldn't have, Laura gave the opinion that if a forestry notification, which is essentially a form of a DES permit,
Yeah.
is needed, then really the selectman or the landowner. Sounds like we can sign the forestry contract, because, we're the managers of the property, but for that permit, just kind of off the cuff, she said selectmen should sign it. So Todd Carmichael brought that in, that's my understanding, Monday, and then maybe Jim Ferrante might have come to get the Hardwick one signed. I'm not sure. Jeremy said someone showed up to get the Hardwick one signed by the
Did they
selectmen.
sign it?
They signed it, they signed the notification, so I don't know where
Well, we've
Unless
never-
they handed
We've
the
never
con-
signed a notification,
in the past.
right?
I can't remember. I wouldn't be real surprised if we hadn't. It's not, it's just the thing, it goes with the intent, it's not a real big deal. It's not like a full-blown wetlands permit, but anyhow, once Laura started thinking things through.
I don't even see where there's a place to sign a notification.
As a landowner?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a signature block on there somewhere. For the
All right,
forestry
well-
notification,
I've never signed them. That much,
I might have.
okay. That much I know.
Because Todd usually, we voted on, yeah, I can sign it, and then Todd will roll up to my house, or whoever's got the thing and say, sign it,
Oh, gotcha. All right.
And that's the way that one went down.
But that's not what we need signature on for Felch. We need signature on the,
So there's the contract we need to sign that was supposedly mailed to us, but it's not turning up now. And then the notification, my understanding, I think it's Jim Ferrante brought it to the Board of Selectmen, or maybe someone from Hardwick, I don't know. Somebody brought it to the Board of Selectmen and got it signed.
Okay.
So I don't know if they snagged, you know, someone stuffed the contract in the Board of Selectmen's, you know, get them to sign that, or what happened, but Jeremy thought it was here and we'd sign it tonight.
No.
No, I don't have, I don't know, I don't really see anything on that.
Right, that is a,
Would it be possible to make a motion that if that is the case, and it's sort of in the wrong hands, that Andy could be authorized to sign it?
I would agree with that. My big question is the chain of command, who gets to sign what? Seems to be getting a little muddled.
Well, yeah, actually, it's just right here.
I mean, I would think if they're going to the Board of Selectmen, we should know when they're showing up at the Board of Selectmen so we know what's going on. Yes, no?
That's a brand new deal with Laura saying that they need to sign that forestry notification.
Do they really have to, or is this a Laura thing?
I don't know. My tail was between my legs at the time, not in a good position to really explore that.
Right.
It just didn't sound like there was a lot of opposition to it, so I don't think it's a big deal either way. I think if they were, you know, if there was a problem getting them to sign, I'd be worried about it, and personally, it seems like they handled it pretty well. There are no issues, so I don't know.
It's just, it seems, I've lived in another town,
Mm-hmm.
and the Board of Selectmen did not have their nose as deep into this stuff, signing this stuff. They trusted the Conservation Commission to handle that.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna take the advice.
each
they get.
board has its own way of doing things.
Yeah.
And that can ebb and flow and change and, yeah.
So you sent something to them that you had sent back, Andy, in November, something to do with Felch. Oh, what's this right here? This is Hardwick. All right.
There was something Hardwick related that showed up in my box. In the conservation box. This was like 2 months ago.
Yeah, that's it.
What
But
does it
this one
say?
right here is 28/2019. So what is?
And the vaguest of recollection I have is that maybe there was something I
Felt Forest.
moved on to the
100
selectmen
acres.
because it indicated someone other than us needed to sign it.
Landowner, sign here.
So,
So did you sign that, or, I mean?
no, I wouldn't sign that.
That will go to the board?
Well, I mean,
That's what I'm thinking I may have done.
well, this is the harvest agreement here. This is the one he's looking for. It's gotta be the one he's talking about. So nobody's ever signed this?
Where'd that come in? Something Jeremy sent along.
November 12th.
And we haven't acted on it?
Number 12.
It says,
That sounds,
to Andy,
Too
here you
old.
go. Thanks in advance for signing and scanning back to me. That's gotta be it, though. We don't have more
Is
than
this
one
one, that
sales
whole thing
patch.
with the Board of Selectmen triggered?
No, no, Woods did. This has gotta be it. I mean, we don't have two jobs going to Felch.
So do we forward
That's
this
what
to the
Harvard-
Board of Selectmen and have them sign it Monday night?
No, we can sign it.
Okay.
So you never signed that?
um,
And I'm not sure we ever, I mean, there's just nothing else out there, that's it.
Can we reach Jeremy back home?
I tried. Set his phone off or something.
Does he have a normal phone?
Not that I know of. That's gotta be it.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's something that I did send along to Jeremy.
Let's see if there's anything we can do. Yep, there's something from you. I'm trying.
And I see an email
You signed it, yeah.
November 16th saying, "Hi guys, why don't you send over the signed agreement from Wednesday's meeting?" But
No, this is the contract. You signed it, yeah, I'm totally confused on what's going on. How many, I mean, we only had one job in Felch, right? And this is some other area. He had already signed this.
all right, I have found timber harvest stumpage agreement contract number Felch Forest dash TS number 4 Hardwick 2018-2019. Is that what you're talking about?
It's gotta be.
But I don't find record of signing that.
I've got it. Yeah, he sent out an email on, he sent it on 11/20.
Which was, what I just found was dated 11/20.
Yeah.
So after asking the second time in November, I apparently did sign him something. So you can send that, or forward that again. And should have been something he had.
Yeah, so then the next issue is, do we ever do a vote to authorize you to sign that?
Well, let's look at minutes from the November 18th meeting.
Yeah, it's not in there.
You found the minutes but didn't find mention of it?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either. I looked at those.
Okay. Never mind.
I think what we're doing is we're signing the, forestry services agreements and then forgetting to do a separate vote for the harvest contract.
Or we did and it didn't make it into the minutes.
Okay. So just to fix that problem, I'd make a motion that we're retroactively approving Andy's signature on the Felch Farm harvest contract that he signed on 11/20/18.
I'll second that.
And could we amend the motion to include where the harvest was going to take place or is going to take place?
Sure, include the word Felch. With Hardwick. Did I say with Hardwick before?
Yes.
That's in case you sign more than one contract that day, right?
Never know. Truly. What do you have for that motion, Mike?
Steve motions to retroactively accept Andy's signature for Felch Farm harvest on, which was signed on 11/20/18. And I just wrote with Hardwick out of town forest funds.
No, there's no money on that. It's income. Yeah,
Okay.
Just to sign the contract. That's all revenue generating.
Did you have Felch Farm? I'm sorry.
For Felch Farm harvest contract.
Gotcha. Good. Any more questions, comments? There being none, all in favor say aye.
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 All in favor?
So they just didn't catch you. So I was delinquent and got nailed.
Isn't that the way it works, huh?
Um,
Given my pound of flesh for sure.
all right. Hopefully that's it. I'll email it to Jeremy. Yeah. Oh, do we want to do we also have the minutes from the last meeting to review and approve?
Yeah, we have to review and approvals.
Did you guys look at those ones I emailed out?
I did. These seem fine. I missed one of the meetings, so I can't weigh in on one of them.
I don't know what other ones you got.
The last meeting.
Or the quick one? Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, you could still. So I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
April 10th, 2019.
No.
Prior to that.
No, the last one, was it June or May, whenever it
We
was?
didn't have a May meeting.
The special meeting.
So, you're talking about the is it the May 29th meeting?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so Steve made a motion. We had a second from
Second.
Lori on approving the May 29th, 2019 minutes. All in favor of approving the minutes, say aye. Aye.
And we're up to date on April's minutes?
Yeah, we need a motion and approve that one too.
this year. According to the minutes, if they're right.
I'll make a motion to approve the April, oh, no, wait, there's a problem in that one. Hang on. Mike, you got that in a editable format?
Edible format? No, I got it in hard copy right here.
Okay, you wanna take a note on there? There is no Ball Farm.
All fine.
That's the last sentence, first section there. Must be referring to Poor Farm. There are missing pins and locks on the gate. There was a missing pin and lock, so.
No, all
Before.
right,
Poor
all right,
farm.
all right.
Should be Poor Farm instead of
Alright.
Ball Farm.
So, motion to accept minutes as amended.
Second.
Any further comments? There being none, all in favor say aye.
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 All in favor. All right, for the sake of completeness. We have 4 items in May from Chip. And I'm not proposing to open any of them unless somebody has awareness of something going on. There's a lot line adjustment, and these are all scheduled for the May 23rd meeting. I do not know whether they were all addressed or not. Raymond / Proctor, map 201-10 and 147, 195, and 14 at 195 North Stark Highway and Reservoir Road. It's a lot line adjustment corrective plan. We have another lot line adjustment, Terrian and White, map 412, lot 194, 195 east side of South Stark Highway. Subdivision, Allen and Monica Kent, 2-lot subdivision on north side of Chuck Street at map 409-154. And another subdivision, Lull Road Investments LLC at map 411-358.
How many lots is that?
That being the thicker package, let's find out.
Let's see where it is.
Where's this one located?
Lull Road, map 411, lot 358.
Off of Poor Farm,
Yeah.
down that way.
Ten of the plan is subdivide lot 358 into a total of 5 residential lots, starting from 28 acres.
So here's the road. What's that crosshatch? Is that wetland?
Gives the impression of such, yeah. We're showing a 25-foot and a 50-foot line around that, so yeah, wetlands.
So is the wetland stamp on there, first off?
Joshua Breen, certified wetland scientist, 256, Boscawen, performed wetland mapping on December 2018.
Gotta have the stamp on there, though.
So where are these 5 house lots?
So the problem that they just created here, the way they laid that out, is you can't get in there without going through the wetland. But they had access to all this dry land coming this way. What they're doing is they're avoiding building any roads or shared driveways and just chunking out lots according to frontage. That whole trough's a wetland. That whole trough there is a wetland. So they're showing 1, 2, 3, and then on that second page are the other 2. So, I mean, my comment is that, you know, they're trying to obviously maximize income, but this thing totally ignores, you know,
The whole
wetland.
wetland protection.
All right.
Well, why would planning and or zoning allow that, knowing that they're not allowed to do that?
Well, proposed common driveway to
Okay,
get
so
to
they do
that
get that
one,
in, all right.
so it's not,
So it's not coming from there, so you got common.
so actually that would make 3 driveways outside of the wetland.
So they do fit
Buffer.
in there, yeah, okay. All right, I was wrong there. So you got, so that's a shared driveway. 5 acres, 5 acres. That driveway there goes in without getting the buffer.
And then the other 2, this one goes around,
Oh, so they did get it in.
and
Why
this
does
one's
the
a
town
short.
let so many shared driveways? It's usually a train wreck
It's in the zoning.
down the line.
Yeah, so
Sometimes they work and sometimes they don't.
I stand corrected.
So there's avoidance on the driveways, which is
Yep.
good.
Looks like a pretty rough spot to.
Yeah, it sure does. That's some.
What was the setback off hydric
Driveway
soils?
grade as high as 8.5%.
Doesn't that exceed? What do they allow for driveway? That's kind of steep.
I don't know.
So what's our setback off of septic? 75, so they're not showing that in the 4K area.
They're not showing what?
The setbacks. So there's a no disturb buffer, that's
Mhm.
this. There's a no building distance, and then there is state law, there's a setback from hydric soils to your septic. Do we usually show
What?
that?
Fairly confident that's 75 feet? I don't
I
know what
think
it
it is
is.
75. So do we usually make them show that? I can't remember.
If you don't have it shown, how you know they're gonna actually do it?
They gotta do another permit for the actual septic.
Yeah, it's a state permit where subsurface has to sign off on it.
Okay, if that's been shown before or not.
I tend to think not.
Okay. Boy, lots of rock walls in there, huh?
So an FYI, the survey plan showing wetlands should have the
Wetland stamp.
wetland scientist stamp on it. Last thing I don't have, which was a letter mailed to me as chair of the commission. Don't even know whether it included the name of the person who sent it. Saying he contacted Wetlands Bureau about somebody clear cutting and stumping of wetlands. And told the Wetlands Bureau that that's not allowed in Weare, and the Wetlands Bureau told him to take it up with the town.
Good. Any particular place?
That's a problem with receiving mail at home. 99.99% of it's unimportant, so it did not catch me at a place where I committed it to memory. But it did not strike me as a place I knew, so I will need to scan it, send it out to you all, and probably address it to Chip.
Isn't Chip
Is
retired?
Chip in existence? I thought he was retired.
He is retired, so where do we go with those things?
There is a lady they've hired that does code enforcement, if that's who you're looking at.
So I'll have to find an address for code enforcement.
Bastards.
Oh,
What a tough year for those guys.
They're nailing us.
Yeah.
we need some serious cold weather next winter.
Never seen a year like this.
Those things need to go. They're
I'm on my
everywhere.
daily dose of Doxy.
Are you?
My daughter's, she's getting a lot better. Bethany's battling through it. Others are getting exposed. The dog's just covered. Oh, it's been horrible. All right, so I will send that along. You have something, Bill?
Yeah, not to beat a dead horse, but something you brought up earlier. The open space, we had asked down at the orchard, when was it gonna be pinned?
I said in the spring.
Monument.
Yeah.
And I believe it had something to do with the sale of the house, either the construction of the road or when the house was sold. And there's houses that have been sold, there's when we got the occupancies and they're in there. And the road is in there.
Yep.
And I am fairly certain that it was one of those two things that Chip had answered questions that this board had sent, that you couldn't do it until one of those two things had happened. So I wonder if we might authorize a letter to be sent to code enforcement, but not only code enforcement, the selectmen, and re-ask that question, but not possibly advise or however you want to word it, that no funds are returned to the contractor until the open space is properly surveyed and marked.
Would you need to add that to the planning board too on that list, Bill, because they're part of the
Yeah,
people who
yeah,
are checking that?
whomever, and actually I intended to say planning board
Sorry.
at the beginning. but-
Yeah, I think CC, Craig, but it strikes me as like the planning board at that, it's not really clear who's got the ball for kind of closing these things out,
That's why I think the selectmen wanna be,
Mhm.
there's a pile of money to go, as things progress in the development, you get
The bond comes back, right?
bond back, but
Mhm.
I bet there's, I bet, I shouldn't say that, there is likely very little wording about making certain that the bounds and the open space is clearly, accurately.
Mhm.
Well, a lot of those pins are on the back side of those lots too, so a lot, they're probably not set yet. I wonder if we couldn't request that the town engineer verify that those are all there, and give us a written stamped letter that he verified that they, or he or she verified that they are all there.
Send it to whomever we need to send it to, but rather than let it
No, I think you're right.
just be done.
I agree. I'd send it to Naomi, to
The 5 board of selectmen, they need to all get it.
the
The
board,
planning board.
and code.
And is it code enforcement that gets it?
I mean, I would send it to them as well, just so everybody's on
I
the same
never
page.
know what some of the hats are. But I think you're absolutely right. We've addressed this. We've had a meeting with the board of selectmen there. They've come here. We've brought this up as a problem. You're
I don't
absolutely
remember
correct.
what the wording was, but I believe it was either the road had to be put in before they had a starting point.
And they're selling more houses. That road is definitely in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the road is paved, and I know there's at least 2 occupancies, and there may be more.
Oh, that's a good one. They still have Chip listed here, but.
I don't know why I think her name is Kelly.
Well, if we get it to Wendy, she could always pass it along.
All right.
Yeah,
She'll-
I believe that there is a lady there that's helping in the office, and that they've got a part-time.
Yeah, we need to get someone on that.
And I don't think any of us are capable of doing that.
I don't think
Not
that
at
we're
all.
the enforcement, or if we are, we need to use some of those funds he left there.
And I tend to think maybe we need to talk to the planning board a little more about that, but, if a town engineer closes out road requirements, as part of that process, if it's within their scope of services, if not added to them, confirm that all.
Well, that's a big one, the road bond.
Right, but I think that that's all this is tied to.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Which might leave it not tied to anything.
And again, we'd be screwed.
Yeah.
Right, but there again, to your point, we do need to have a talk with the planning board, because while they can say they have things in place, we're here, more subdivisions are coming forward. If we do not have a very clear conversation, we've talked to the Board of Selectmen, but we need to set our position in place because we're not capable of doing this. And that's not being derogatory.
Right.
So, when we talked about that, Craig said that they're no longer allowing subdivisions plans to be accepted with saying the markers to be set, that they want them set. This is an older one that we're dealing with here.
I almost think though, there, we asked the question and got an answer, and it was, they'll be set, but they can't be set until, and I really don't remember it.
No.
It was either the road was put in place and they went off the road for the, because the lots weren't even accurately surveyed until they got a road in there.
Yeah, well, that was going, I mean, I talked to Will there directly at one point, and he even asked, like, who's responsible for setting those pins? You are. Yeah.
Right, but I just think that we oughta take some action to see if we can't prod it into actually happening.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing, just also call him and see if he has set them yet.
But definitely, we should hit all of those different people, but we still should have a meeting because I'm not so sure that everybody on planning board's clear with what is being said.
Yeah.
Emails are great, but if everybody doesn't get the same email, there you sit.
Yep. Well, I will, I'll take a cut at the correspondence that you suggest. It makes good sense, Bill. Steve, you willing to try chatting again with our builder up there? Developer?
Yeah, you can call him. See what Craig had to say about it. Yeah, because Craig had said something about there are many properties that have closed without boundary markers being set. My neighbors and others. That is one reason I'm a surveyor. Have a job. That's great.
Oh, yeah, back in December, yep.
Seems like there was something from Laura at one point, which basically did nothing for us. So, yeah, I mean, Craig's email, the monuments are bonded, as is the road construction, and the monuments will have to be set to get the bond released. This has been the practice until the planning board proposed a zoning amendment, which was approved by town as follows. The boundaries of the open space shall be monumented per the subdivision regulations. This may be amended. In addition, the boundaries should be blazed. So they added, that blazing and metal post and a certification by a surveyor. So that was 2016. We got to add that in. I mean, that still doesn't give us, you know, that's that other issue, whether we don't really still have the ability to decline an easement. But, so he's saying it's bonded, you know, so our issue is, all right, we don't want that bond released until someone certifies that these
Correct.
are done.
And if not, take the money out of the bond to get it done.
So do you have that email that was on December 4th, Andy? That would be the one that actually forward along and say, okay, summer's here, houses are occupied, roads in,
What's
what
the
gives?
Is it- Right now, those people probably don't know where their bounds are.
No, so they're probably
And
all,
there's nothing to keep them from hiring an expensive landscaper to come in and build a beautiful lawn.
I don't seem
And
to have
take
that
out
one.
those
Was it from
trees and
Craig?
everything else, yeah.
Or from Naomi?
that one's from Naomi, I think. Right forward to? Everybody had it, but I'm just forward it that to everybody again. So yeah, this is a good time to get on that, clearly. Time to go home yet?
Yep.
You got any more things, Andy?
All right, yeah, so that, what Steve just read was a December 4th email from Craig, CC, Chip, and Naomi.
And she
And then
forwarded it
Naomi,
on.
Naomi forwarded it around on December 4th,
Right.
yeah.
I make sure everybody had it.
Yep.
so. I just forwarded it around again for ease of access.
Right.
So he was saying the road and the monumentation is bonded, so let's enforce that.
Yeah, because who actually is supposed to check on that? Whose job is that?
Oh, we'd have to pay someone to check on it.
Well, it'd be a good question to
And this
ask.
is a case where at least the easement and property boundary are concurrent, as opposed to the more screwy ones where they're not the same place, and we've got easements that go on the back of lots. So in a sense, this is an easy one relative to what we got next door.
Yep.
Okay.
But back to my question. Okay, he says this is supposed to be done. That's what the email says. Whose hat is it to make sure before they close this out that this is done? You can't expect the developer to be running around being concerned, so who actually
Well,
from the town
I guess the
watches
question
this?
is, who actually returns the bond? Who releases the bond? And if I were the person on the behalf of the town that was doing that, I would want my town engineer to certify,
Right, and I don't
to
know.
make the statement, yes, I've
Who releases
verified,
the
I've done the
bond?
field work to verify
I
that
think the select
those are
board
there.
does.
Who does that?
The select board.
But they don't go out and make sure all this stuff is done.
I would put it on somebody working for me.
I think the town engineer does for the roads, right? They used to, they even do that anymore? They used to.
Well, it's engineered. You know, I guess that we just need to educate ourselves on
Yeah.
what it is, but
I think all you really, so,
where, the timing, I think, is good right now because it would be very common for a person to, while all the equipment's here, why don't we upgrade our backyard?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot cheaper to do it when it's sitting right there on the land. And to, they don't have to pay someone to truck it in, it's already there, dump trucks are running. There's a little bit of spare dirt from this job we'll give you and fill this hole and whatnot.
Mhm.
So, if you nip it in the bud now, and just have clear bounds so that that landowner doesn't incur expenses
Mhm.
on conserved property, and then, it'd be a hassle later
Yeah.
on. It could be sheds built, it could be pools put in, it could be
Trees
you know,
cut
just
down,
lawns,
yeah.
whatever it is, and
Uh,
to save aggravation, just, the timeline should be when they take possession of the house. I can't imagine not having your bounds set. I mean, if you're spending $450,000 or whatever, and you don't know what you own, you've been told.
But, you know, it's interesting, nowadays people, ooh, there's that word, assume everything's fine and they just go.
I'd like to know
Yeah.
what happened to the dirty dirt.
Oh, yeah, that too, yeah.
Now, why would I like to know? I think as a conservation member, I'd like to know, and as a professional geologist, I'd like to know, and damn me to hell, but as a DES employee, I'd like to know what happened to the dirty dirt. Did anyone verify that it was handled in the way that? No. And my answer is, I am not aware of anyone.
And if something goes wrong and
Holding
somebody
an
starts
interest in that.
contracting stuff, my God, does that come back on the town?
This reminds me of a story that I heard a week or two ago, and it was, thinking of just sources of soil. So with the whole PFOS, PFOA debacle now.
It's,
So come to
there's
find out.
huge amounts of that down in Merrimack that's going somewhere, yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
it's turning up in municipal composting, municipalities that composted food boxes, because apparently it was in like that waxy stuff at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So even that's,
Right, yeah, the
Got
the
elevated.
biodegradable trays
yeah.
end up being
that's a
carriers
horror.
of it.
Oh, my God. It's like, don't buy any municipal compost anymore. It's contaminated.
Yeah.
Horrors.
Yeah,
We ready? I'm ready. I was ready like an hour ago.
that was, well worth bringing up, Bill, thank you.
Yeah.
But in that vein, anything else?
Motion.
There being none, we got a motion.
Second?
Aye.
9:05.
Aye, aye, aye.
All in
Aye.
favor, 9:05, I shall allow, yes.
Look at.